I've made a massive mistake, and it has to do with TikTok. Don't worry, I'm not going to leave you hanging. The massive mistake that I made was I was way too focused on trying to get more followers that I didn't spend any time building a community. And now I'm paying for it. Honestly, at this point, I'm having to backpedal to get my profile to the right place, but I don't want you making the same mistake, okay? Are you listening to me? So right now, this very moment, I've got to convince you why building a community is the play of the game versus focusing on building a following. Because you may be thinking, but Kyla, with a large following, brands will send me free stuff. I might even get paid to make my content. I won't feel ashamed to tell people social media is my job. I will finally feel satisfied when I hit however many followers it takes to be satisfied. This mindset is such a dangerous trap.
It's a trap!
And this is why building a community is more important than building a following. Allow me to convince you. A following consists of the people who follow your social media accounts. A community consists of people who are passionate about you and your content. With so many people active on these various platforms, it can be easy to assume that the larger following you have, the better. In reality, you're going to have better results by having quality followers rather than having a large quantity of followers. Imagine for a second that you're trying to sell cat food at a convention for people who love dogs. There may be hundreds of thousands of people there, but most are not going to be interested in what you're selling and are not going to engage with you. It works the same way on social media. If you have hundreds of thousands of followers, but they're not the right people for you, your content, your brand, you're not going to get the engagement or level of interest that you're looking for. And one myth that I'm going to debunk is you may think that the only way to make money through social media is by having a large following. While, okay, in some cases that might get you in the door, what most businesses and brands actually care about is who is watching the content and what kind of engagement you get. Having millions of followers doesn't really mean much if the audience doesn't care about the content. And it's probably at this point in the video, you may be asking yourself, so how do I actually build this community? I'm no expert in this by any means, but here are some things that I'm doing to work on building my own community that might be able to help you out. Number one, we need to gain an understanding of the type of people we want to attract and serve with our content. I've been reading this book called Traffic Secrets by Russell Brunson. It's a great book I would highly recommend. And on page 11, he says, every year, tens of thousands of businesses start and fail because the entrepreneurs don't understand this one essential skill, the art and science of getting traffic to find you. And on the next page, he says, waiting for people to come to you is not a strategy, but understanding exactly who your dream customer is, or in this case, since we're talking about creating content, who your dream viewer is, right? And they could potentially turn into a dream customer later on, but who exactly is our dream viewer? Discover where they are congregating and throwing out hooks that will grab their attention to pull them into, he's talking about sales funnels here, but again, for us, our content where you can tell them a story and make them an offer is the strategy. That is the big secret. So he goes on to talk about how you can discover your dream customer. So if you guys want a little bit more in-depth understanding of that, you can go ahead and grab this book. I actually think this book is free. All you do is pay for shipping. But one thing that I'm doing at this moment is trying to map out an avatar for my content. And so then I can have an idea of this person that I want to help serve and attract. And so I'm working on building that right now. It's taking me a little bit of time, but I'm doing it for both my YouTube channel and my TikTok. And so that way I can essentially think of this person, or if you want to get really fancy, you can draw out or print out an avatar. So you are literally talking to them when you hit record. Number 2, it's all about engagement. Not this one, this one. You and me, we've got to engage with our audience, whether that's in the comments, doing a live stream, talking to our people. We've got to engage. And I want to share with you guys a clip from an interview I did with Cody King, who has been able to build a safe space and a community on TikTok, a place that is notoriously known to be quite hostile.
I think that any of us that have more than 100,000 followers would trade that for an engaged community of 5,000.
Right.
If that makes any sense. And the transition in the mental mindset of like, how do I get more followers, to why would someone follow me?
Yes.
That mental leap is the saving grace for a lot of like account growth. What is it that I give people to be engaged with that's like worth watching? I do art, I tell stories, I write, there's narratives. If you follow a lot of my like videos, and like every 7th video might follow a narrative, and then there's like eagle-eyed fans or friends of mine that have been like, oh my god, these last like every other video has been like one coherent story. This is crazy. I'm like, I'm so glad you noticed. And like those things are what we like really thrive off of and live for.
You can check out the entire interview that I did with Cody. I'll link it down in the description below, but we've got to engage with our audience. And number 3, along those lines of engagement, we've got to show up. And one of the best ways to do this is to post consistently. Now, my mindset is I much rather prefer quality versus quantity. So if for you and your lifestyle, I know life is crazy, if a consistent yet quality upload schedule looks like posting 1 video a week, then great, but show up for your audience that 1 video every single week. Or if it's by posting once a day and you can still have that quality content that serves your audience, that builds that community, then fabulous, right? I'm not necessarily all for this posting 10, 15 times a day. First of all, that is just not sustainable, but it's kind of like throwing spaghetti at the wall. And yes, some pieces may stick, but a lot of it isn't. And so if we can focus on quality uploads versus just throwing as many videos at the algorithm as we can start to build that community that really likes our content. These are some of the steps I'm taking to begin to revive my TikTok account and begin to build that community. And I challenge you guys to do the same for yours. Whether you're just starting out or maybe you have a significant following, but you're not getting the engagement that you hope for. And yes, the cat is out of the bag. My TikTok profile is dying, and you can check out this video here for all of the details and what I'm gonna start to do to try and bring that profile back to life. But thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate ya, and I'll catch you on the next one. Bye, dudes.